Here we have a graph of f of x, and then we want to answer questions from the graph. It says find f of 6. So what it's saying is this, that x equals 6, then it wants to know what is y. So if I go to the graph and I go to see, here is 6, I notice that the y value is 0. So this says if x equals 6, y equals 0, or f of 6 equals 0. The next question says, is f of 3 positive or negative? F of 3 is a y value at x equal 3. So if I look at x equal 3 is right here between 2 and 4. There is the y value, so that's f of 3, and I notice that f of 3 is a negative number. So this says that f of 3 is negative. For what numbers, now we're not looking for coordinate points, we're looking for x values, is f of x equal to 0? This says y equal to 0, x equals question mark. So now I'm looking for a y value of 0. Y value of 0 is on the x-axis, so this is on the x-axis. So that I notice it happens at here, here, and here, and I notice that the x values are 0, 4, and 6. Now here's a tougher one. It says for what numbers, and again it's going to be, is f of x less than 0? This says y negative x is. So if I look at where y is negative where it is below the x-axis. That's this piece right here. It does not include the x value, so I'm going to put open circles there. So that says, where is the graph below the x-axis? It's below the x-axis between x equals 0 and x equals 4. So that says, as long as the x's, and this is not an equal, are bigger than 0 and less than 4, then y is negative. And then we say, what is the domain and what is the range? Now, domain is the x values. So if I'm physically on the graph, the first time I see x, a graph is at -4. I continue along the graph, and the graph stops at 6. They're both solid dots, so this says x is greater than or equal to -4, but less than or equal to 6. So that would put my domain at -4, less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 6. You can write it as the interval -4, +6. What is the range? Well, the range is the y values. So if the domain are the x's, the range is the y's. So that means I'm coming up the y-axis. I first start seeing graph right here at y equal -2. And it appears to stop at y equal +3. So if I look at the range, the y values start at and include -2, stop and include 3. So what's the range? Well, -2 less than or equal to y, less than or equal to 3. You can also write it as negative 2 comma 3. Square bracket means that you are including those values. The problem goes on with what are the x-intercepts. I usually ask you to write the x and y-intercepts as coordinate points, but we know that the x-intercepts are where the graph interacts or crosses or touches the x-axis. 3 places at 0, 0, at 4, 0, at 6, 0. What is the y-intercept? Well, the y-intercept is where the graph interacts with the y-axis, only one place, 0, 0. For what value of x is f of x, that's y, equals 3? This says x equals question mark, y equals 3. I'm looking at the other half for the other half of this coordinate point. And if I look at a y value of 3, that puts me right here only in one place, and it would be 5 comma 3 is the point. They asked me for the x value, so we would say x equal 5. That would be my answer. For what value of x does f of x equal negative 2 or y equal negative 2? This says x equals question mark, y equals negative 2. So again, I would be looking for the other half of this coordinate point as my answer. And here's negative 2 on the y. That's the coordinate point. You notice that x is 2. They want to know just the x value, so that says x equals 2, y equals negative 2.